Are you preparing for the PMP exam in 2025 but finding it difficult to organize your study time? Don't worry, I've created a 30-day study guide that walks you step by step through everything you need to prepare for the exam. And the best part? You can download it for free. Just drop a comment below with the words study plan and I'll send you the guide so you can adapt it to your own schedule. In this video, I'll also share key tips that are essential for exam success and you definitely don't want to miss them. So be sure to watch until the very end. Okay, before we get started, let me quickly introduce myself. I am Sabri C. I've been teaching project management since 2008 and my PMP Exam Prep course on Udemy has helped thousands of students pass their exams. It's also the best-selling PMP course on Udemy worldwide. The PMP exam is one of the toughest project management certification exams out there. Because it's so challenging, passing really depends on how you study for it. There are many different topics you need to learn, and without a structured plan, it's easy to get lost along the way. I've seen many project managers lose motivation during their preparation simply because they didn't follow a clear study plan. That's why creating an effective study plan should be your very first step when you start preparing for the exam. In this video, I will provide you with a structured 30-day study plan. You might be wondering, why 30 days? Well, it's a 30-day plan because 30 days is short enough to stay motivated but long enough to cover everything you need. This plan is structured, simple to follow, and designed so you can actually measure your progress every single day. So let's cut it short and talk about this plan. Alright, here's the study plan. You don't need to take any notes. I'm giving you this entire plan for free. Just drop a comment below with the words study plan and I'll send you the download link right away. These are the exact study topics you will be working on straight from my best-selling PMP Exam Prep course on Udemy. And if you want to go deeper and explore everything in detail, I've dropped the full course link right below this video. When you open the course, you'll see that the exact section names are entered here as study topics. For example, in the course, we have sections like Introduction, Project Management Basics, Frequently Used EDOs, and so on. And when you look at the study plan, you'll notice the same section names listed here. Here, we have the total duration of each section shown on the plan. For example, the section called Agile Project Management is 43 minutes, Agile Teams is 52 minutes, and so on. I've included these durations so that you can manage your study time more effectively. In this course, you will find mini quizzes designed specifically for review. They are a great way to reinforce what you learned in each lecture. You can also see the total number of mini quiz questions listed under each section, and altogether there are 670 of them. That's more than enough to help you review and strengthen everything you learned throughout the lectures. In addition, you'll find the number of practice exam questions available at the end of each section. These are exam-like questions, and by working through them, you will be able to measure how well you understood the lectures. The course includes around 400 practice exam questions. So altogether, while preparing for the exam, you'll solve more than 1000 questions, not including the mock exams and extra practice exams that are also part of the course. Now, when are you going to complete each section? Well, it's very simple. As you can see, the days are listed here, and below each day you'll find the topics to complete. For example, on the first day, you should finish the Introduction and Project Management Basics sections. On the second day, you'll cover Frequently Used EDOs, Knowledge Areas and Process Groups, and Before the Project is Chartered. Here, we plan for about 2 to 3 hours of study each day. Studying less than 2 hours often isn't enough to cover the topics properly and you may lose continuity. On the other hand, Studying more than 3 hours can lead to fatigue and reduced concentration, making it harder to retain what you have learned. Therefore, studying 2 to 3 hours per day is the optimal duration, and this should be your goal. Here is an important note about the days in this plan. At first glance, it may seem like these days are consecutive calendar days, but they are not. These are actually study days. What that means is you don't need to study 30 days in a row without a break. Instead, you should adapt the plan to your own schedule. For example, if you can spare 2 to 3 hours on weekdays, you can use those as your study days. If weekdays are too busy, you can shift your study sessions to weekends and still follow the same order. The key here is flexibility. Just make sure you complete each study day before moving on to the next one. And one more important thing. Giving yourself breaks is just as valuable as studying. Instead of working non-stop from Monday to Sunday, I recommend taking at least one rest day each week. This way, your mind stays fresh, you avoid burnout, and when you come back to your studies, you will learn and retain information much more effectively. By following this plan, you'll complete the course on day 24. Now, I want to draw your attention specifically this day because it's very important. On day 24, we cover 3 key sections: golden tips to pass the exam, code of ethics and professional responsibility, and lecture notes for last-minute recap. These 3 short lectures can make a big difference in your exam performance. The golden tips to pass the exam section highlights the most crucial areas you absolutely need to be aware of before the exam. These are the topics that often appear multiple times. The lecture notes for last-minute recap provide small but powerful summaries of each topic from every section, helping you quickly refresh everything you learned throughout the course. That's why these 2 sections are especially valuable. Even though they are scheduled for day 24, I strongly recommend rewatching golden tips at least 3 times before your exam and reviewing the lecture notes once more before the exam day. This will give you an extra confidence boost and ensure all the key points are fresh in your mind. The same day you complete the course, you are ready to apply for the exam. After finishing the course, go to PMI's website and complete the application form. At the end of the course, I explain the entire application process step by step in 2 videos. Just follow the instructions I provide in those videos to ensure your application is approved. Before submitting your application, you can also share it with me in the course so that I can review it and suggest whether any improvements or adjustments are needed before you send it to PMI. After completing all the sections and solving more than 1000 mini quiz and practice exam questions, it's time to take things to the next level by practicing even more questions and strengthening your knowledge. For this purpose, you will solve 2 mock exams, which are also available in the course. Each mock exam includes 180 questions, just like the real exam. Solving these 180 questions in 4 hours is crucial because it helps you build the stamina, focus, and time management skills needed to succeed under actual exam conditions. Sitting for 4 hours and trying to concentrate on each question is really tough, so you need to get used to it before your real exam. By solving mock exams with the same number of questions, you will train your mind and body to handle the pressure. This will help you stay focused and perform effectively on exam day. One of the main reasons many students fail the PMP exam is their difficulty with predictive environment questions. They often hear that agile questions dominate the exam, so they spend less time studying the predictive part. Although it's true that agile has a strong presence, you still need to study predictive concepts truly. In fact, about 30 to 40% of the questions come from the predictive environment, and Without mastering these, it's very hard to pass the exam. To help with this, we have included 2 additional practice exams focused entirely on predictive questions. By solving these, you'll strengthen your skills in the predictive environment and greatly increase your chances of passing the exam. So, after completing the course, you will have solved more than 1,600 questions. Is this enough to pass the PMP exam? Yes, it is. Although that's the case, I always recommend my students solve at least 500 additional questions from outside sources as well. The reason is that practicing with different question styles and perspectives helps you avoid getting too used to just one format. This way, you will be more adaptable and confident for the real exam. Think of it as training your brain for every possible scenario. You'll walk into the exam room feeling sharper, more prepared, and ready to succeed. Now, when should you schedule your exam? The best time is right after finishing this 30-day study schedule. Don't delay too long because waiting can cause you to lose momentum. The more days you let pass, the more likely you are to forget key concepts and feel less confident when exam day arrives. Some instructors suggest doing nothing the day before the exam. They claim that resting your mind completely helps you stay fresh and calm on exam day. Although this might be true for some of you, for others, doing nothing before the exam may not work. I am one of those people. During my whole student life, I always preferred to review my notes the day before the exam, and it worked very well for me. So, what you should do the day before the exam really depends on you. Think back to your college days and remember what worked best for you. If you were the kind of student who studied regularly and didn't push too hard on the last day, then the do-nothing strategy may be suitable for you. But if you were the type who studied intensely in the final days before the exams, then it might be a good idea to review your notes the day before your exam. The lecture notes for last-minute recap in the course were created exactly for this purpose. If you are that type of learner, just read these notes the day before your exam. I also often hear suggestions from some instructors about what to eat, what time to take the exam, and so on. Well, these things really vary from person to person. What I suggest is to do exactly the same things on exam day that you normally do on any regular day. For instance, if you usually wake up at 8 a.m., then schedule your exam time around that routine. Wake up at 8 a.m., have your usual breakfast, and take your exam around 9 to 10 a.m. If you are someone who normally wakes up later, then stick to that routine as well and schedule your exam accordingly. The same goes for what you eat. Don't try anything new or unusual on the exam day. Just eat what you normally eat. There is also one more thing to keep in mind. Some people are used to eating lunch 2 to 3 hours after breakfast. For example, if you normally eat breakfast at 9 a.m., you may feel hungry again around noon. If you schedule your exam at 10 a.m., you could face serious hunger right in the middle of the test, which will definitely hurt your concentration. That's why for people with this kind of routine, the best option is to take the exam right after lunch. For example, if you usually eat lunch around 12:30, schedule your exam for 1 or 2 p.m. This way, you will feel full and comfortable and you won't be distracted by hunger during the exam. Before we wrap up, I would like to remind you that the study guide I mentioned in this video is available for free. To get it, simply comment study plan below and I will share the download link with you. If you are just starting your exam prep, don't miss my video where I reveal the #1 secret to passing the PMP exam. It can make a huge difference in your journey. Make sure to check it out. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next PMP video.